Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU and welcome back to my tutorial slash playthrough for the Unfallen faction. Before we begin, however, there is something I need to stress out because I'm not sure if it was obvious enough in my previous video, and that is the fact that I'm recording this series way before LS2 is actually fully released, which means that I also have an embargo, which means that by the time you see those videos live in your subscription feed, it will be days, a lot of days after I have recorded them, which means do one thing. It means that I can't reply to your comments if you had made any, because, well, obviously for me it's the future, for you it's the past, so, you know, that's just something I wanted to stress out. So if you're saying something and I don't reply to it in my video, please don't be mad. Alright, that's about it. So let's see, last time we completed our quests, we got our useless stuff. Now the next quest gives us a choice between light and fire. Now while getting a light is very easily, I mean right now we are losing influence because of my law active, try to get speaker into under my wings, which I will now cancel. But either way, this is a very easy quest to fulfill, but again the reward is bad. Renewal system, I'm not gonna need that. More so, I won't even have enough room on my ships to install that. So that's not something I need. However, fire is a much more interesting option because, alright, this is a fairly easy thing to achieve, to be entirely honest, and additionally, it gives you access to PANCZASU kinetics, and PANCZASU kinetics are really good. They deal a lot of damage and take care of the missiles quite nicely, and most importantly, they cough. No, that's not it. They also have a critical hit chance, which is not something kinetics usually do have. So yeah, they're awesome, and I like to have them. So let's confirm, and there is that. I detected a fleet, and oh, guess what? They are actually in a system where I wanted to be, which is very annoying indeed. And those ships are, I mean, I have the original Vine ship in this fleet, so it might survive. I'm not gonna run away. If I get my Vine ship and Questioner both killed, worst case scenario, I will lose one Vine ship out of many. Same goes for Questioner, really. And they might actually both survive because they're both basic ships and they both have armor protection, and those guys are using, it looks like, kinetics and missiles. So just use Tattoo action and try to get as close to them as quickly as possible. Hopefully it will be good enough. No, we're not going to watch this battle, however. It's not gonna be an interesting one to watch. Grave defeat. Oh well, I tried really hard. I guess it wasn't meant to be, but I did, thankfully. Okay, it doesn't matter because I already entwined Aita by that time. So it's all good in the end. Now there's one important thing, however, and that is talking about minor factions. So we've got Taurus over here. We're going to start by having our first contact, and we'll start by praising them. And we'll keep praising them at the end of every praise modifier so that we can stock up on those, and it doesn't get too expensive as well in terms of influence. However, there is one thing I want you to keep in mind when you take over minor factions as the Unfallen. You see, for those guys, they are right next to my van network, so if I were to take them over, no matter how I would do it, I would get them added to my empire with all of their population, buildings, and so forth. However, if I didn't have a Vine network here, and the minor faction wasn't surrounded by a blue outline of the vines, then upon taking them over, they would be wiped out from existence and I would not get the system. It's a bit confusing, strange, and surprising for you, I assume. It could be at the very least, which is why I hope to publish this video before LS2 is out, because you need to know how it works. Basically, don't try to take over anything unless it has this blue outline of the vines on it, because otherwise, if you take it over, it's going to be destroyed and you won't actually get it. So there is that thing. I hope I just explained this in enough detail. And yeah, the outpost is going to go up, and the enemy, it actually has fleets already. Can I click on them? It's kind of hard, but they have a schooner and it's using wait, what? No, it's not using kinetics, it's using lasers or beams. The pew 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 guns, not the bzzz guns. I almost forget the names of these. But either way, they have defense against projectile weapons themselves, not against beam weapons though. So it looks like we're engaged in beam wars, because to counter them, I could either use missiles and try to overcome their projectile defense, although it is very high, so I probably wouldn't necessarily want to do that. Or I can use lasers, the pew pew kind by myself, and employ a lot of shields. Alternatively, I can also go for something like kinetics and bzzz, beams or lasers, how they called, type of compound to get as close to them as quickly as possible. But because they're using kinetics, that would be pretty bad actually. So no, I think I know how I'm going to fight them. What about the Caravel? It's just a scanning ship, isn't it? Yeah, it's not really representative. What about the other ship I see over there, right behind the enemy fleet? I see you. I do see this place, this ship. Oh, I guess it's just a civilian food shipment. Alright, not something I need to be concerned with. That's alright, that's fine. I don't care about him now, I'll just murder him later. Because, yeah, the more and more I think about it, the more I feel like I will be a warmonger. A classic, good old-fashioned pan warmonger. Because murdering things is just way too much fun. Anyway, I'm going to retrofit this ship so that it can get to 3C75 a little bit faster. And as for Zaurak, it's working on its colony. Nicely done, although I could go for Intergalactic Supermarket, I suppose, as well. Don't really care about that. As for the laws, I'm going to cancel Make Love Not War because I don't feel like that myself right now. And I'll enact Toys for Boys again to get the extra approval, because I will need it since our empire is growing quite steadily and it will need the approval to, you know, support that. Anyway, I'm going to drink some more tea. And election roll then. We want scientists. Actually, by this point, we have discovered almost everything there was to discover, so I don't care too much about the scientists being in. In fact, now the industrialists would have been better, but it's a bit late. Can I get the Dirty Hands Act? I probably, in fact, definitely can't, because they would need to be established for that. I don't think I can get them established that quickly. Only pacifists have been established so far, so this would be a very tall order for them. Yeah, I mean, at the very late in the game, minus bigger would be very nice to have, but I don't think I could convince my faction to support scientists so much. So I'll vote for the religious party. Because I want to have admit and improve thingy. It probably won't work though, and I'll be stuck with industrialists, ecologists and pacifists. So I could try to boost them even further, for example, and get industrialist established bonus. So let's do that. Let's try to get them as the second leading political party and see what happens. So let's see. Yeah, they might get second place in the end. Yeah, they certainly did. That's nice. And ecologists are in third place with militarists nowhere to be seen. Now, as for, in case you're confused, how do the other factions in your Senate vote, by the way? It basically, they're voting for what they like most when their vote doesn't work. It's something that a lot of our earthly, real-life voting systems could really use, because in this game people don't vote for the lesser evil, they just vote for what they like most. Oh, I hate this so much. Not the system, I hate that the enemy took over Spiker. Because right now in this game it's... Come on, let me show that to the people. Basically it works like so. If, for example, there's a scientist in the party, and it looks like the scientists are not gonna get enough votes to get elected, then their votes are reassigned. Now, because both pacifists and industrialists had enough support to actually be in the Senate, then half of the scientists voted for pacifists, half of them voted for industrialists, because they are the kind of political alignments that the scientists like. They wouldn't vote for militarists or ecologists, and they would absolutely hate to and would never support the religious alignments. So that's basically how it works. Alrighty then, with that done, let's continue moving, and yeah, the Spiker has taken over, the enemy has fleets as well. I'm still gaining the Fitzy bonus from being at peace with those guys, but I would love to discuss some more people. Hello there, Antimatter discovered. What kind of planet is it on, I wonder? It is on a large ash planet, which also has a bad anomaly, irradiated. Ooh. I mean, honestly, is anybody surprised that this planet is irradiated? I don't think anybody is. So anyway, I guess it's good to have. People who hate living on it, like really badly hate living on it, but I want antimatter, so I don't care about what my people care about. Now I also queued up chameleon spaces off camera, because I already made some progress on that, and I want this upgrade anyway, so might as well have it. Now, as for one thing, components for my system development, I could go for Jade Onyx, because I do have a source of it. And it would give me a lot of extra industry production. The question is, how much of a source do I have? 4 per 10 with the potential to get more? Yes, I will go for Jade Onyx option, because this is actually something useful, unlike the Red Sang option. So let's go ahead and grab that real quick. Now, anything else I need to do this then? Not except for Father, which does require something to be done over on Father, because it's currently not doing anything interesting whatsoever. So I could just... I don't need sustainable farming. You never need it as the Unfallen. You have way too much food production as Unfallen when you are on a fertile planet. I mean, look at this. It's ridiculous amount of food I'm getting from this place. It's just sickeningly good, as one might say. So there's that. Then it feels like the game is lagging a little bit, doesn't it? Or is it just me? I don't know, it was just somewhat strange for a second, so I guess things like that do happen. Anyway, let's go ahead and end the time, because it's been way too long that I spent way too much time that I spent talking rather than playing. So let me drink some. And start thinking about how best to murder the Lumeris, because I certainly do want to murder them, because they got me quite annoyed, if you don't mind me saying so. Can you please move? Alright, the game is thinking about what the AI wants to move, because the game won't let your ships move before the AI decides what their ships want to do. It's kind of nasty cheating on the AI's part, but then again, AIs are known to cheat, so I suppose we have to just deal with this. By the way, I'm not being racist versus AIs, I'm talking about non-sentient AIs in my space-time and timeline and whatever. Unless there are those sentient ones watching me, in which case, hi, please talk to me, because I would love to know you. I really would. So yeah, that's that. Just saying, in case you're interested in AIs. Anyway, let's get cerebral reality then, and right after that, let's go to Intergalactic Transport Network, because the production on this system is generally really awful. Now, after I'm done with that, I would actually like to grab either Baron, and it will also give me access to Denmark University, which is absolutely incredible. Or I could try to go ahead and grab myself... what was the thing about it? Oh yes, ice. But not right now, not right now. For now I just need to make production on Yedrix, because it's a newly created system that I still haven't secured up properly. And yeah, there is a delay, I think, somewhere in the game. Maybe I'll need to restart it, pause the game for a moment. I'll see how bad it gets. I'll drink some more in the meantime. Oh yeah, and the 10 also takes a suspiciously long time to finish, which is usually not the case, but again, I might be imagining all of this. I might not, we'll see. Anyway, dear Vineship, can you please move over there? It will in a moment. Like I said, the AI wants to move its ships first. And wait, what? Don't be angry, you'll do the same, it's just business. Oh, they're talking about taking over this planet, aren't they? I guess. Unless they did something else that was really nasty to me. Which is also very likely and possible. So I do hate them with all of my heart. Anyway, let's colonize the Ash and get the antimatter. Actually, I don't have antimatter gathering abilities yet, so it would be useless to colonize the Ash planet. So I'm going to colonize the lava, because it's a much nicer place to live. It has low gravity, so it's... Oh, low gravity lava sounds horrifying, terrifying actually. But whatever. But it also has dust ruins. I wonder how they got into the ruin state. I think I have a good idea. Anyway, the quest has... Oh! I didn't do that, but again, the reward wasn't really all that big, I suppose, so that doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and do the drone networks, and nothing else for the time being. Let's just let this system develop. Now, what do I want? I kind of want to unlock the 4th era for economy and trade, just so I can start gathering antimatter, because it will be very useful for me later down the line. Alternatively, I can start thinking about my military. And this is something I really want to do. But before I can make efficient military, I need to have better gathering abilities. And colonizing gas giants would also be very, very useful. So I'm just reminding myself of everything everything else. I could go for predictive logistics. That's a really nice bonus of industry per planet. Problem is, that would basically mean that I would likely not get anything else in this tree. And extreme atmospherics is definitely something I want, so I am gonna grab that, and this will be it for this side of the tree. Although what I could do first is get I cannot pronounce that, ubiquitous, yeah, I think that's correct. Ubiquitous surveillance, I'll never try to pronounce that ever again. And also efficient shooting, that would also give me access to extra laws, which actually it wouldn't yet, because I need to have more and more technology. That's fine, I'll go for adaptive bureaucracies. And then there's extreme atmospherics, I guess. Unless I will decide to not do that, which is also very likely because there are things I want in the military tree before I actually make a navy. For instance, I want to get to era 3 before making ships because that would give me extra experience on styling ships, which is very important. Also in era 3 and era 2 there are two very important things. One is coordinated command, the other is zero lag command. Both are extremely important because at the end of the day, you may counter the enemy ships, you may have better ships than the enemy, well, better equipped, but at the end of the day, what really matters is having more ships than the enemy, because that's usually what makes you win battles. Not always, mind you, certainly not always, not even frequently enough to really make it a rule, but I do like to have a lot of ships, it's just how it is. Anyway, I have access to Slag and Sludge Center, which is very important. Let's go ahead and grab that so I can get a bit more Hyperion production going, that would be really nice. I'm also going to go ahead and make Intergalactic Supermarket, because this would let my hero level up a little bit, because he's still level 4, which is really rubbish, unfortunately. And the extra dust will be useful when buying out a fleet or something, in case I decide to do something of the sort, whichever one might. I still have 2 turns before I need to press the Taurus again, which is fine. I don't want to sign any deals with the Lomeris because I will want to kill them in the near future, because I really hate their guts. Also, I need to wait to colonize Ita before they actually get it, because keep in mind, they have, as long as the Lomeris see the system, and they have seen it, they can easily make an outpost over there. So I definitely need to keep that in mind, which means that I might change my research order in order to grab one of those planets, Arctic or Ice. Which I should have done a long time ago, but again, sometimes I just don't things in the most optimal way. I think I am actually doing them as optimally as I can, actually. And hi there! Did not mean to fight you, let us retreat for now. This is actually pretty annoying. I wish I could entwine the Sable, but not in the near future, it looks like. Not in the near future at all. Alrighty then, I will need some ships in order to clear this terrain out and make room for my vine ship to actually colonize something. So, you dear vine ship, you go and also get to Volans, so I can, actually, no, yeah, also get to Volans. So, as soon as I can, I'll send 2 vine ships, 1 to Taurus, 1 to Sable. Actually, scratch that, you go to Yedrix, because you see, once I take over Taurus, because it is next to my vine network, it will instantly expand my vine network to Taurus. So I don't actually need to entwine it, which is pretty good to know, I assume. Alrighty then, anything else I need to do right now? Not really, I can just go ahead and no, actually there is. Father needs orders. How are you doing? You're almost maxed out on this planet, so let's colonize this giant ash planet, which will make you happy. Also, there is some room for growth again on this planet, which would be, again, rather useful. And let's go ahead and end my 10 with efficient shielding. Actually, how are we doing in terms of hero unlock progression? Pretty good, but we're likely to get a Seeker, which I don't want, and unlikely to get a Guardian, which is something I do want. But then again, I'll have a fleet army in terms of my original Seeker, so getting an Overseer is probably the most important, because Seekers are amazing when it... I mean, not Seekers, but Overseers are amazing at increasing your strategic resource generation, which is something I'm very much interested in. Alright, I don't think I have any more scout ships available, which is a shame, because I would like to send probes somewhere out there and see if I can see another major faction. So I'll probably buy out one on Volans, just so it doesn't have to fly anywhere. And I'll retrofit it slightly as well. Why as well and well too? I didn't do anything to you. Oh, whatever, doesn't matter. So, dear question, let's make it as cheap as possible. You don't need any weapons or defenses. And you will not even need an engine, although it will, maybe you will, so I'll give you one, I suppose. Let's apply the design. And let's make it a question. Instantly nice and easy, and make it the Xenian industrial infrastructure, and then followed up by colonizing this really hostile ash planet, I think. Because I'll get stagnant anyway by that point. Anyway, with that done, is there anything else that calls for action? Yes, that there was apparently some movement, a vine ship, which I'll just disband for the time being, I will not need it. And anything else, divine ship over here, again, disband because you would be killed otherwise, and I don't need you to do anything in particular as well. Now, as for the research, like I said, I do kind of want to improve my military, and I want to unlock some ships as well. But there is also the thing about colonizing ice and other planets. And on Aita, I would like to have access to the Mantian resource, so I need to probably focus on Arctics. However, I wouldn't be able to actually mine adamantium just yet, and there is another system that has an ice planet, which I also want to have just so that the enemy cannot have it, and this place has Arctic and gas giants. I will get... wait, what happened to my... oh yeah, I will get access to gas giants later, so ice is the more important thing for me right now, and it does give me a very nice bonus of 25% science to all systems, because yes, I'll always be happy. So let's go ahead and grab that real quick before I grab anything else, although I want to make a fleet to start cleaning out the pirates. I really do. So let's do that. Let's get a fleet to clear out the pirates. And what kind of weapons do we want? We will have the PANCZASU kinetics. So we don't want the bad kinetics because they would be useless. Let's instead get lasers, especially since the enemy seems to be using armor rather than shields, so improving our lasers with the plasma intensifier seems like a pretty good idea. Maybe. Although for certain reasons I would still want to have the bonus to kinetics actually, because we have the PANCZASU kinetics. So I do actually want that. Yeah, I think I do. Let's have a quick look at the enemy again. They have a brick as well. Is it using the same weapons? No, it is using missiles as well. No, wait, it's not. Yes, it is using missiles, and no, it's just using kinetics. Only kinetics. Alright, so this thing is using kinetics, this thing is using that, and both of them are defensive against projectiles, so I would need to have... I cannot use projectiles, essentially, which is a shame because I really wanted to use PANCZASU kinetics, but I guess it would be stupid. I need to go... if I want to go to war against Lumeris, I'll need the plasma intensifier instead, which is what I'm gonna get. Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and finish that up, and it would be even better to actually get my access to my lightship, and I'll explain why lightship instead of a fireship later. But the thing is, not right now maybe. Actually, fireship against what the enemy is using might be okay. I'll think about that. You see, there's a thing about lightships. I think that when it comes to Navy, Unfallen do not have the best Navy in the game. In fact, it's pretty mediocre. It's very hard to kill, yes, but that's about the only good thing I can say about it. But they do have good tier 2 ships. Especially the lightship is a surprise hit when it comes to fighting the enemies. For reasons that I'll explain when I get its chassis. But the fire ship, it has its uses as well. It's extraordinarily resistant to damage, so it does offer reliable damage. So it is a reliable damage source rather, but it doesn't do a whole lot of it. And it tends to target the wrong ships because it's a hunter class. But I'll talk about that when I get the opportunity later. Anyway, you just said just make me some stuff. And yeah, the game is definitely, it feels like the UI is lagging a bit. So after I finish this video, I will restart it. For the time being though, I don't feel like doing this because I don't feel like doing this, it's that simple. Alrighty, you are stagnant, so this means that you need to colonize probably this place because it has a hollow planet, which does make it a little bit nicer to own. And let us also, let's see, let's improve Zawrak. Just so we can make Intergalactic... Nah, Intergalactic Supermarket will be done 2 times regardless, I think, so I don't need to focus too much on that for the time being. And that's everything I need to do for the time being as well. So let me drink some more tea. Finish this then. Delicious. Alright, so let's have a quick look. See, another Vine network has been expanded with to 3C75, which will give me a ton of extra influence, which is rather nice. Now, as for this Vine ship, Lumeris will not like me for this, but I don't care, I'm gonna go to war with them anyway, so let's go ahead and check out what's beyond this place. I won't bother expanding my Vine network to their systems because I'll gain access to that regardless. And so, let's see, no research queued, and I have access to better military now, which is nice. I think I will now get access to the ice planets. I think it's very important, and I don't need... I want the light ship so bad, but I won't get it right now. Not right now, there's no instant need for it. So instead, let's have a quick look at my ships. Well, it's useless, don't bother making it. I don't see why you would. The Unfallen ships are extremely tanky by themselves, so you don't need to have the extra protector class protecting your ships, because your ships will be protected well enough just by the virtue of being the Unfallen ships. Don't bother with the well, it's a trap. Now, Needle, however, is an entire thing altogether. So let's have a quick look at its layout again, shall we? It has one support spot which will be taken by an engine. That's okay though, it will get an extra supported slot once we upgrade the ship. Additionally, what it has is 2 weapons and 2 armor slots, or it can have 3 armor slots, making it ridiculously tanky and completely useless as well. So we'll not do anything of the sort. We're going to give this guy PANCZASU kinetics, because... where are they? Oh! We didn't unlock them yet. Oh. Okay then, but we have upgraded the our lasers, haven't we? Let's have a quick look, see? I believe we have, yeah, there are the basic lasers and there are the upgraded ones, the basic sync lasers. We have access to those. So let's get the basic sync lasers. Besides, I didn't actually want to use the PANCZASU kinetics, now that I think about it. Because, yeah, the enemy is using plating. So what I'm going to do is I will give this guy a bit of armor, because the enemy is actually using armor weapons. And the enemy was also using lasers, or beams or whatever, if I remember it correctly. So I'll give this guy a very, very powerful shield. And this will cost me some Hyperion, but it should be okay. It's only 1 Hyperion per ship, and this guy can absorb... I wish you could have detail stats always on, because they're actually very useful. But anyway, absorbing 1/3 of energy damage almost is really, really good. I'm very vulnerable to projectile damage, but I don't think the enemy is firing a lot of projectiles. Some kinetics, sure, but I should out damage the enemy, hopefully. I kind of wish I could install better plating, I admit, but I can't right now, so this will do for the time being, I suppose. Anyway, with that done, let's go ahead and establish level 2 modernization, follow it up with big data shipyards, and then start making some actual ships. As for Farmer, you did say you are expanding nicely, and because this place is sterile rather than fertile, it will actually be a little bit slow for my people to colonize it and occupy it fully. So I will go for sustainable farms this one time, and not infinite supermarkets, and AI labor following it up, because it will give me a lot of extra production on those hot planets. And sterile planets as well, and the ashes and lavas are both, which means that they are ridiculously productive if you let them. Anyway, oh, I forgot to praise these guys in time. Oh well, the amount of influence I have is actually ridiculous, so I'll praise them several times, in fact. More than I need to, but I feel like I want to. We have a question ship ready, so I'm going to first of all discuss some curiosities because I can, by which I mean discover 1 curiosity, and send a random probe, let's say in this direction, because maybe there's somebody in the middle of the galaxy. And I'll disband you for now, just because there's no reason for you to stay outside of the system. So with that done, I'll end the turn, drink some more. Actually, I just drank all my tea, so I can't drink it, sad face. And I need to keep recording for about half an hour. Now, the first 2 videos of the series, by the way, will be about an hour long, because I want the first videos to be so long, because people are usually most interested in the first 2 videos anyway, so I like to make them long. Every video after that will be about 45 minutes-ish each, because usually people don't want to watch a video for an hour or longer. And 45 minutes is a very nice amount of time that will, you know, suit my needs when it comes to recording 4X strategy games, which is what I do, isn't it? So anyway, let's move with all my ships. The Luminarians will be annoyed slightly, but it doesn't matter because they'll be annoyed with me even more in the future once I actually stomp their fleets into the ground with my own superior fleets, one would hope. Anyway, let's praise those guys a bit more since I have nothing to do with my laws. Actually, speaking of which, I have an extra law slot, I remember, because I did research a new era. And I can't go for Mineral Mines Act, which I should have gone for as quickly as I was able to, but oh well, I forgot to. Now, as for my approval, I think it's pretty high. It is. How much am I overkilling this approval? Not by much, it looks like. So I'm not going to change the laws, although I could cancel super tax law. Toys for boys. And how am I doing it this approval now? I'm still ecstatic everywhere, so I can go for things like Brains Over Backs, lowering my approval, my dust income even further, but increasing my science income, and then I could go for... I don't care about my pressures too much, but at the same time it would give me more of J-Donics and a bit more dust as well, and I'm right now not getting a whole lot of it, so let's grab that. And now I'm losing a lot of influence per turn actually, so I will not keep this on. And after seeing how much influence it costs me, I'll cancel it on the next turn basically. But for now it's fine. Also, I'm sorry for sneezing because I might sneeze. I think I won't. Alright. Unfortunately, it's right now the pollen season in my country, so there's a lot of pollen in the air, and it's really annoying, especially if you have allergies, and spoiler warning, I do. So there's that. Anyway, new collection population bonus, which means that we have gone to maximum population and collection bonus as the Unfallen, which is actually not really all that useful. Luxury resource generation is nice, that's about all I really care about. Unfortunately, Unfallen don't have the best bonuses. Anyway, again, access to a new hero. We can even get a Guardian, but a Scavenger Guardian, which I'm not too keen on. Scavengers aren't the best Guardians. Primitives Counselor is not bad, but I have Unfallen Overseer Scientist. That is a good thing to have. And not only will he boost me quite nicely, but he also has obviously the Unfallen traits, so this is good. And also, if the scientists ever get into Senate, he will boost them very nicely, so I will get this guy without any doubts. So let's go ahead and grab that. Somebody finished 10 battles. That was the Vodiani, judging by the color. So alright, I've got a new hero in my empire. What I will do now is assign my new hero over to Zariak, because I want him... I mean, first of all, I'll level up this hero, because I can. Thank you very much. You now have maximal useful experience. I mean, you have reached a new circle of experience, but I care more about this guy, who will now start being very nice for my assistants. So what do I want to start with? Unfortunately, at the start, yes, they are kind of useful, because they mostly buff your food production, but I still like the Overseers for the Unfallen, because of the extra deposit value on resources. Strategic resources, but also luxury resources as well, which I like a whole lot. So let's go ahead and grab that real quick. And after we're done with that, I'll probably start making my fleets, because it's rather important. Firstly though, let's research something, because I can now colonize ice planets, which is nice. So I could get something new, like for example, I could get missiles, which I wanted to have anyway because of Zero Light Command, which I do need to have. At the same time though, my ships wouldn't be able to fit any of the new stuff on them, so we need a better ship. And we need either a light ship or we need a fire ship. Now, I personally prefer light ship in most scenarios, but because the enemy is using, or at least has been using schooners up to this point, I might use the fire ship instead. Basically, the way it works, your light ships are coordinators. Coordinators' primary fire is hunter ships, and usually hunter ships are the ones that deal the most damage. So, as you want to use coordinators to destroy the enemy hunter ships, and because the Unfallen coordinators can take a lot of shots and also deal a lot of damage to the enemy, the light ships that the Unfallen have can really mess up the enemy fleet and make it basically unable to do any damage. But because the enemy is using a mix of schooners and brigs, I'll use the fire ship instead in order to destroy those ships as quickly as I... They changed it up. The bastards changed it up. They are now using only beam weapons. Which means that I could have easily gone for the focus plasma and gotten the kinetic enhancer. And had I known that, I definitely would have done this, because kinetic enhancer on light ships is ridiculously good. It allows them to deal a ridiculous amount of damage. But since I'm dedicated to the fire ship, I'll get that. And also look at that, lasers and already beams. Well, either way, both of them are no longer effective versus the enemy. So this was a waste of time. A complete waste of time. I should not have gone for that thing. I didn't know though, because they had different types of ships before. Either way, I will get a fire ship, because the enemy is using the kind of ships that they are. And yeah, fire ship will at least deal some extra damage, but then again, we don't care about that, since it will be able to do extra damage with weapons that aren't very strong. Yeah, first of all, grab... The enemy messed my build order completely and I don't like them for this. Alright, I need a ship with more slots. That much is obvious. I can go for light class or I can go for fire class. If I went for light class, I would go for kinetic enhancer because light class has a lot of slots where it can fit a kinetic enhancer, thus making it deal more damage than a fire class could. However, because I would now need to grab this tech, you know what, balls to the walls. I will just do the usual because I like it the most, and I'll grab the missiles as well. And if you have a problem with that, deal with that, because I really like light ships for the Unfallen. Although in this situation it would be better to have fire ships. No, fire ships only have one support slot, which means that even though they have an extra damage slot, no, they do have an extra turret slot. That is actually a pretty big thing. So you know what? No, I will go for fire ships also because I have the extra titanium. Yeah, I will go for fire ships. I prefer the light ships, but because the enemy is using ships that would be targeted by my fire ships, I will use fire ships. So there is that. Okay, it was a difficult decision, took me way too long, but I have now made it, so that's how it's going to go. Hideo, dear sir, what can you do for me? Again, those are sterile plants, so I will actually go for sustainable farms over here. Aita I can colonize now, which is very nice. I'm going to colonize... Both ice planets are exactly the same, but this one is bigger, so I'm going to colonize that, thank you very much. And make my drone network speed it up, because otherwise it would take way too long. Speed up Xeno Industrial thingy as well, because again it would take way too long. And then go for the cerebral reality. Also, hold on a second, I need to check. Okay, for a second I thought that somebody called me, but no, I'm just seeing things. Now, Zarak will finish its construction this turn, and I could start making troops, but I also noticed I can make Intergalactic Technology Center, which is extremely good, mind you. So, I will rush that, even though I did want to make a navy. I will make a navy potentially over here in this system once AI labor is done, or I will just buy out all of the needles, or I'll wait until I have better technology and then make the navy. There are a lot of possibilities I could consider. Anyway, my precious is something I don't want, as we have established already, and I will not queue up anything else, although Super Tax Act is tempting, but I think it would make me drop below ecstatic. Oh wow, I'm already below ecstatic because of my new system. So you know what, I'm going to go for Toys for Boys, which is negated somewhat by Brains Over Backs, which is good. I'm still making a lot of science, and my people are happy. I'm just losing some dust, which again is fine, because I'm still actually gaining it. And I'm not spending too much industry on that law, I mean influence on that law, so that's also all good. Let's go ahead and end my turn. Oh wait, my heroes are left unassigned, I forgot about you this, huh? Where do I want to assign him? Probably to Father, just so that he gets a little bit of extra experience. Or Hideo is also a possibility. But no, I think Father, because on Father I'll make more things right now. So you just said you're gonna get over here and get some extra experience while you can. And yeah, I'll probably make my ships on Father just so he can level up a bit more before he actually commands my navy. Besides, with him as an admiral, my fleets will be able to travel from Father faster, so it won't hurt me too much by making my ships over there. Anyway, can this turn please end? There we go, it did, nice. Now we are cordial with this minor faction over there, which is, I mean, not very important, but whatever. Now I have a choice. I can destroy or confiscate something. I don't care about extra approval. I do care about extra experience on heroes in Zorak. I care about it a great deal. And supporting the militarists, not necessarily the worst thing ever, because I will probably militarize in the near future. Also, I have a competitive quest, which I'll definitely win, because I'm the Unfallen. I always produce the most food, so that's nice. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish the movement of all of my stuff. And as for you, dear sir, make the big data shipyard and make me some ships. Maybe not just yet. I'll just let my hero level up, meaning not without doing anything in the meantime. Sorry for stuttering like this. I suppose I just was talking too much in the past few days when I was recording all those videos that I'll never upload, which still hurts me, by the way, but I still think it was a good decision in the end. Alright, Production is, for the most part, queued up, but not quite, not everywhere yet. So we use AI labor, because there's a lot of sterile planets that could benefit from that. But there's also life form and subterranean sources. Those could be resources, mind you, so I will get the subterranean curiosity checked out before I do anything else. Because those could be all sorts of good things, maybe even strategic resources. Which I do need to start gathering, by the way. I really do, so I need to get extreme atmospherics relatively quickly as well. Also, Ibella I almost forgot to grab, so let's grab the ice planet, nice and easy, and start working on drone networks. I will not speed it up because this will be a useless system. I just have it so that the enemy cannot have it mostly. So yeah, there is that. And the third, actually no, I will not, because Volans is in need of guidance. Dear Volans, you will get interplanetary transport network as well as cerebral reality. And I'll queue up like a Sludge Center for when I actually can do something with the antimatter. As for the question ship, I will have it go all the way to Taurus. No, because there are enemies there. I'll have it go to Sable, and then I could explore curiosities, but I think it's more important. Oh wait, there are enemies here. Okay, send probes while you can. Before you run away, you have to run away there. At least I send out a probe. Hopefully it will encounter some kind of major civilization that I could be at peace with in order to boost my FTSE output, because that's actually rather important. Alright, assuming I'll be able to keep pacifists in the Senate, because I do want to have to be at war with the Lumeris. Anyway, for the time being, I want industrialists to win because of the laws that they can give me. Mineral Misers Act is actually really good, as you are perfectly aware. So let's click on the next step, see how it goes. I have some water to drink, so I'll get that. Alright, there's done. That's done. Let me just change something on my phone real quick so I can hear if somebody calls me, because I am awaiting a call. No, I don't want to skip it actually, I just want to see the end result. So, Pacifist 1, Militarists got into the Senate. Industrialists didn't? And Ecologists are in as well, who are the most useless. There's a problem with the Ecologists in the game balance right now, in my opinion. They do have the amazing passive law that allows them to colonize everything that is not a gas giant, sure. But all the other laws, with the exception of the most powerful ones, just give you food, which is for the most part kind of useless, especially as the Unfallen. So I really don't actually like the Ecologists, especially as the Unfallen. So yeah, there's a problem. Also, our law got cancelled, which I'm really salty about, but I can go for lower fleet costs, which I might do since, yeah, I will start making ships. Maybe even this time if I get some production overflow. So let's go ahead and do that. Lower fleet costs, enact, and start making ships. Because applied cryogenics, oh, it's still not done yet. Right. Well, I'm wasting influence on a law that I will not have much use for, so that's a bummer. Now, I need to remember to praise those guys on the next test, so I can extend the benefits from praising. That would be rather important. As for you, dear sir, you just launch a probe in that direction and be disbanded, because I cannot actually send you anywhere sensible for the time being. As for Father, you make some more industry production and colonize maybe an ash planet, and that would take a really... Sorry for that. That's the call I was waiting, so 1 second, that really scared me. Alright, I'm back, stronger than ever. I've dealt with my stuff and now I can focus entirely on recording, and we still have some time before I finish this video, so worry not, we'll definitely do that. I could have restarted my game though, but so far it's not lagging or anything like it did before, so I suppose it's going to be fine now, which makes me rather happy. I think we're done with the stand as well. I don't quite remember what I was talking about, unfortunately, sorry. I did get kind of distracted, but it's fine. Hardened alloys will be done in 2 turns, that's when I start making my ships and fleets, because I'll be able to make... Oh wow! Yes, I was hoping I would find Adamantian on Hido. I just had a feeling, so I'm really happy about that. Anyway, let's check what are those ships using. They're using... Again, they're using projectile weapons, and those ships are using no defenses, so I don't care about what weapons they're using, because I'll just crush them. Okay, their defense is also energy. Wow. Yeah, okay. I'm going full on kinetic route then, which should work rather nicely. Now, as for... Yes! Yes, I found the Voliani, that's really nice. Where did I find them? Ah, way over there. Hi there, I love you. I want to make babies with you. No, I'm not joking, I actually do. I mean, not real life, by the way. I was speaking in character. Anyway, with that done, we can now talk with the Vodiani, make them love us, because that's all I'm concerned with. So, hi.
To say what we are thinking. So we will stop at hello.
Yeah, they're reserved because they just discovered us, but I have Hyperium. I have 10 of it. What do you say to that? Are you hungry for Hyperium? Do you want... They are not. Okay, how about Titanium? I'll have 15 of it. Do you like Titanium? They really do not. Manpower then. I have 150 troops. And I'm willing to give them to you if you lick my shoes. Okay, they won't lick my shoes, it looks like. Stop making morning noises, by the way, lady. It's disturbing. Red Sang, 60 of it. I wouldn't need it anyway. I don't care about it in the slightest. Will you... Okay, she's interested. So I'll give her 30 Red Sang instead and 10 Titanium. Why are you trying to sound so sexual? You're not. Okay, I'll also give you... I'll give you 1 Adamantium. Or 5, actually. And no Titanium, because you don't deserve it. You don't even want it anyway. Okay, she does actually want it.
Okay.
So, 15 Titanium? What about that? Do you like this? She's very, very picky. How about if I do give you more Red Sang? I think at some point AIs don't care if you give them too much of something. Yeah, she doesn't care. So 30 was the right call. But maybe 10 Adamantium. I don't want to give her Adamantium. It's very useful and very important resource to have. And it won't even give me that much of benefit. So I will give her 10 at Hyperium as well. And wow, she's a needy one. Okay. 100... No, I will give you 200 troops and no Hyperium. If I gave her Hyperium, she would say yes. If I don't give her Hyperium, she would say no. If I give you 500 troops, will you now say yes? That's the last thing I want to know before I actually sign a deal with her. She doesn't care that much, so the troops and then Hyperium, and then she will say yes to all of my demands of peace. I only want to be at... Wow, wait, what? Did I mess something up? I give her Adamantium, I give her this stuff. I give her 30 Red Sang as well. 1 more Titanium. And 1 more Adamantium. And that should be fine. Yeah, okay, that's definitely good enough. So, I spent a ton of influence on that, but...
This proposal appears acceptable. But the Church still doubts your machinations.
I mean, you're right to doubt me. I did murder you in 2 of my previous Unfallen playthroughs. One of which I recorded and will never publish, but, you know, other than that, we're good friends for now, until I get closer to you and can actually conquer you. So, for now, you should be... Actually, I don't know why you signed a peace treaty with me, because that gives me more benefits. But, you know, let's not worry about it. I'm sure it's fine for you as well. Maybe, who knows, maybe the Vodiani are ruled by pacifists right now. Because that's likely, very likely. I'm sure they are. Anyway, as for this system, it needs a bit more production, I feel like, because it's currently absolutely pathetic, so I'm willing to spend my dust on that. Uh-oh, I think I overdid it with my throat. It's starting to act up a little bit, and I need to conserve it really badly. So, let's see. On Hidel, what do I have, what do I not have? I can give you AI labor, which I would like to, I certainly would. Hardened alloys are almost done, but they are not done just yet. But right now, before I do go to war against Lumeris, I have 20% increase of Fitzy on all of my planets as a result of PANCZASU being the lead, which is a really substantial thing. Also, look at how many level ups I got by gaining the interplanetary training thingy. It's not this one, although it's a very nice deed to have. It's this one. Ether is completed. That's what leveled up my heroes. In general, I would advise you, if you are about to finish a wonder, always do it with a hero assigned. It doesn't matter if the hero will help you make this wonder. It matters that your hero will level up while doing whatever you want him to do. So this is just something to keep in mind. Alright, now I can give him the extra deposit value, which also boosts him as a senator. Extra industry production, which is very nice to have. And a bit of extra influence will not hurt. And even more resource gathering, because that's so very important. And that's nice. Now, are they in the Senate? They're not currently, but I'll try to boost scientist support. And like I said, I have the perfect opportunity to do so. Now, it will lower my approval, but I think my approval is pretty high regardless. Even with that decrease, yeah, everybody loves me. Because they are trees, all they need is sun, some water, and I don't care if it sounds like I'm being... what's the word for that exactly? A racist? Because it's actually, you know, the truth of the matter. Anyway, let us make the Deneric University to make this planet truly OP. And as for Father, well, I am almost done with the hardened outlets, so I have one more turn to burn on the system, so I can go for optic research labs and then use the leftover industry to help me make a navy. As for Volans, you can give me a bit more science while you are waiting to grow more population, and then I'll probably want to have a labor on you because it's just a very, very useful thing to have. Ubella! You better do something useful, Ubella. That almost sounded cool, but it didn't, so I'm sad now. Also, do I have access to tanks yet? I do have access to tanks. Alright, I have a tip for you. Once you get access to tanks, and if you have enough firepower, do this. Because infantry is rubbish, and whenever you invade, a lot of infantry dies, and when infantry dies, if for example I had like those kind of ratio, then my fleet would somehow magically turn some of its tanks into infantry to replace the dead infantry, which is awful. You don't want infantry in your invading forces, unless for some reasons you do, and usually you don't. What you do, however, want is strong tanks, because they're amazing at taking over systems. Now, we will wait one more turn before I talk about the fire ship, which I already have access to, I know, but still, I'll wait a bit more. And I forgot to praise those guys again! I so hate when that happens. I'll just praise them as much as I can. So for the next 5 turns, again, a lot of extra approval from them, which will be enough to give me a quest relatively quickly. As for you, I don't care about praising those guys, although they do have void stones, which is cool, but they're way too far away for me to do anything. Keep in mind, even if I were to take them over right now by doing a quest or praising them or whatever, upon me taking over them, they would instantly be wiped out from the universe because they're not connected to my Vine network. Alrighty then, let's finish the turn. Drink. Oh, I'm run out of the drinks! I should have brought myself some when I paused the recording. My stupidity knows no bounds sometimes. Anyway, those guys are now amicable, and I need to raise the dust production. Not gonna happen because Endless AI would definitely win this quest. Besides, I don't care too much about the rewards, I'll be entirely honest with you. So, game kind of lag spike right there. I'm not sure why. Maybe my computer is turned on for too long, but it's because it has been turned on for the last 3 days because I was encoding and uploading that series that I will not upload. Also, Vodiani, please don't be mad. I'm just scouting. I didn't expect to meet this place. Also, hi there, dear Airship. It's good to know that they are planning to expand in this direction because this gives us a potential, you know, common enemy and make them more. It might make Vodiani more likely to ally with me in the future. However, for the time being, speaking of enemies, let's just change some ships, by which I mean the fire ship. So let's have a quick look see at how it is designed by default. It has 1 support module, 3 attack modules, and 4 defense modules, making it extremely tanky. Now, usually I do go for lightship instead, for reasons that I'll explain once I get the lightship template. But this guy is pretty good on his own. He does gain the extra damage and weapons, based on the fact that he is a hunter class. But additionally, he's also not very easy to kill, and it can be picked off by the enemy core. And no, let's put it differently, and I will stuttering again, which I hate. The hunter ships are usually very susceptible to being attacked by the enemy coordinator ships, which is something that I've been using myself. That's why why I like light ships so much, because they're coordinator, they kill hunters very easily. But this hunter cannot be killed easily, that's what makes him so strong. So, let us, ooh boy, I can have improved ion torpedoes. Or just regular improved torpedoes, which deal the same amount of damage, but those guys also kill crew with each hit. Do I care about it? Not in the slightest, because I'm aiming to destroy the enemy ships rather than kill the crew that's on top of, that's inside those ships. So I'm just gonna go for the regular missiles and also give myself some ultra dense slugs. So I want ultra dense slugs to fire at all, at every point where they can, and unfortunately it doesn't look like any of those spots support firing in front of the ship, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, I can only fire to the side. That's the problem with the fire ship, it can only fire to the sides. Oh well, in that case, I'm going to give this guy 1 set of ultra death slugs, so it always can do something, even if the enemy is at close range. And then a lot of missiles, because I need this guy to fire a lot of missiles. Now, with that done, I'm going to give him some pretty decent plating. I only have the basic plating. It's improved basic plating, actually, so it's gonna be pretty okay. Then what set of upgraded shields, which is going to be extremely powerful in its own right. And then even more plating, making it very defensive overall. I mean, I reduce any damage that is incoming by almost 1/3. That's really good for a ship that is supposed to be a glass cannon by its design. And then I'll give him an engine. I could, theoretically speaking, not do this. I could just give him some kind of enhancer and use other ships to give our entire fleet better movement. For example, I could go for a light ship. I could go for controlled command light ships that don't have any weapons on them, and instead focus on things that get my ships to be moved faster. But I'll need H Fleet Accelerator for that, which I didn't bother researching, and I never will probably. And I like light ships as attack ships, not as actual support ships, even though they were supposed to be support ships. So I'll just give an engine to this guy, and just to make him more survivable, I'll give him extra evasion on his engine as well. And that should be good. Now keep in mind, because of Unfallen Heroes, those ships will also heal their HP under the end of battle, which is really powerful. So let's start by making some, shall we? Let's make 2 of them for now, because that's as much as we can in relatively decent amount of time. Then let's follow up by discovering what's in those ruins, because those could be all sorts of very useful materials for us to gather. In fact, we can... oh, hold on a second. We can speed the process up. No, we can't. But we can check them out instantly. So let's go ahead and do that with the money we had, because might as well. Maybe it's Hyperium, maybe it's Titanium, maybe it's something we need. Even if it's not, it's always good to know what's underneath your planets, you know? It's just generally a good thing to do. Let's end the 10. Oh yeah, no technology is selected. So what do we want? We want to upgrade our Fallen class, or at least I usually would want to do that if I were using a mix of Fallen class ships and light ships. I'm not doing that though, so I'm not sure if I'll ever actually use Fallen ships at this point in time. Which means that instead I could go for some more exotic weaponry. Like, for example, even better missiles. And be even better kinetics than what I already have. Though kinetics would gain the critical hit chance and missiles would kill crew, which I'm not interested in too much, but it would increase the amount of damage they deal, which I'm not interested too much in anyway. But what else do I have? I have Animated Salvager, that's not useful. Flotilla Shield, not useful again. What about battle actions? I have Sharpened Munitions, don't care. Short Defense, no. Influential, also not useful. What do we have over here? Irradiation, that's again for crew killing. Long defense and diplomatic. Diplomatic immunity is actually really good, because it means that ships that have no weapons installed are either not targeted by the enemy or they have very increased defense. I don't remember which one is true, but either way it's very useful if you want to have this kind of, for example, light ship in your fleet that just serves to help your fleet operate rather than deal damage. I'm not gonna do that though, so what I am going to do is start working on gaining some extra antimatter. So I'm going to research extreme atmospherics so I can colonize gas giants and get expanded mines and get access to better research, which I believe is important for me right now. So with all of that done, I can go ahead and end the 10 and end the video. It was almost an hour long. I believe it was long enough. It's a very good cutting point at the very least, so I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. Ladies and gentlemen, it was PANCZASU, also known as the Mighty Mix Spammer. Thank you very much for watching. Let's look through all of those notifications. That's it, and I'll see you online.